Welcome to the Hoops Culture Podcast, where we talk about all things basketball. We're back for episode 32, and yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a really long time. Last one was, I think, February 13th. We missed some quality stuff, but I really want to go over a lot of things in this episode. So yeah, we'll get it going in a few. Just wanted to talk about some other stuff. Yeah, I watched the Batman last night. Amazing movie, amazing. What a film, man. That's one of my favorite, probably my favorite superhero film of all time. I mean, it's very close with the Dark Knight, which is also what was my favorite. They're very neck and neck, man. Both amazing films. Saw a lot of people hating on it, but I feel like the superhero genre of like movies now is has become such like I don't know with the Marvel stuff. It's been I don't know. I feel like people don't really appreciate a good film anymore. People just want to go to have fun, you know. But you really do have fun with this film. People just don't like it because of you know, the fact that there's not many jokes in it in Batman series. You know, that's the whole thing. But man, it was an amazing film. I really suggest anybody to go watch it. It was truly an amazing film. Um, not just superhero films, cinema in general. It was peak, man. It was amazing. I'm gonna watch it again. That's how good it was. I really really enjoyed it. And Batman is my favorite superhero. So yeah, um, yeah, that's that's one thing I got about it. But yeah, going into this episode, I do want to talk a lot of basketball today, mainly basketball. We're gonna talk about many things today, and yeah, we'll get into it. The first thing I want to talk about 2 weeks ago. That was probably one of the worst All Star weekends I've ever watched in my life. That NBA All Star weekend was terrible, awful, blasphemy. Shout out Stephen A. Yeah, it was not good. It was not good at all. I really wasn't a fan. So yeah, let's get into that. The skills challenge. They tried their best to change it up a little bit. But it was just pretty weird. I mean, what was it? It was the rookies playing Team Giannis. I'm sorry, not Team Giannis. Team Antetokounmpo and Team Cavaliers. Team Cavaliers like beat them pretty easily. I don't know. I just really did not find it that entertaining. It was just not. It was that wasn't fun at all. I feel like I like the OG skills contest. Where they all go one by one and they're trying to beat their best time. I feel like that's the most fun way to do the skills contest. I remember back in the day, Chris Paul would do it. Derrick Rose did it one year as well. Like that's the fun way, time someone, not team stuff. Like I like the way where they time themselves and it was just like, it was way better back in the day. I'll just tell you that. Um 3-point contest, no problems there. The 3-point contest is always bangers every single year. Every year the 3-point contest is a banger. Carl Anthony Towns won it. I think he was like a huge underdog too. He was like plus 1,000 or something like that. Whoever bet on him, man, would have made bank. Bank. But yeah, there's no problems there. The All Star game is always good. I always like the All Star game. They never play defense, yeah, but like it's still very fun. It's not like the Pro Bowl where because the Pro Bowl is just two hand touch. It's like I'd rather watch the skill stuff in the Pro Bowl than the Pro Bowl. This All Star game was just really really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Really fun game. See a lot of dunks. See the best players in the world. Compete, and that's the best thing about it. Yeah, I mean, I still don't understand how Andrew Wiggins was an All Star starter. I mean, especially with his play recently. But I'm not trying to be a hater. Yeah, it's pretty weird, but Yeah, that's probably it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad All Star game at all. It was pretty fun. Next, we get into the dunk contest, which was probably okay. I'm not trying to be like that, but man, that is the worst dunk contest of all time. Like honestly, that is the worst dunk contest of all time, and it's not even close. Not even close, man. Like come on. You could do better. Well, okay. My major gripes with that is just that one, there's nobody that, prolific in it. I get it. Cole Anthony, Jalen Green, Obi Toppin, and why am I drawing a blank right now? God, why am I drawing a blank? Bro, what the hell? I'm drawing a blank. What the Oh my god. I'm drawing a huge blank. Who was it? Oh my god. Holy. Cole Anthony. Wow, this is not good. This is not good at all. What the hell? What's who else was it? It was a Warriors player. Oh yeah, Juan Toscano Anderson. Uh, JTA. Yeah. I mean, look, an NBA fan, guys who really watch the sport are gonna know who these guys are for sure. Man, if you want to appeal to the general audience who does not, watch every game or try to watch every team, no bench players, stuff like that, no role players, no people who are just not as much in the spotlight, they're gonna be like, why am I even watching this? What is this, They need to get stars. More stars in this NBA dunk contest because yes, these dunks were awful. Like they weren't bad. Like Obi Toppin's dunks weren't bad at all. One of the Cole Anthony dunk took how many tries? The one where he wore Timberland boots. How many tries did that take? Like five, six tries. Usually a dunk takes like usually on the first try back in the day, and if they miss one, at least it was like something hard, like really hard. They could get it done. I mean, Jalen Green, bro, he took like 15 tries and he didn't even end up staying with the dunk. A lot of NBA stars were not, not enthused. I mean, we saw we saw Shaquille O'Neal look disappointed. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar left early. Um, yeah, it's just like nobody cared. It wasn't good. It wasn't fun. And Obi Toppin's game-winning dunk. I mean, yeah, it was cool, but nobody really cared at that point to even say like, oh, that was cool. Like everybody was just pissed off and they did not care. So, I mean, at that point, it was just like, it was awful. I mean, they need to change All Star Weekend, and one way I think they could change it, I think, if you add a 1v1 tournament with with the best isolation players in the league, you know how entertaining that would be to see. Or if you had it's because I believe a lot of NBA players who are great isolation players and star players would do that, especially if it's you know something for money. Because I feel like a lot of these guys want to do it for money, and you add a little bonus, and they get to donate to charity, which would be wonderful. I mean, I believe they've been doing that with the All Star game where they donate to charity, which is beautiful, man. Seeing 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 charity benefit is the greatest. But having having that opportunity would push more people to even try this stuff. Do the skills contest, 3-point contest, dunk contest. You know, and if you had a 1v1 tournament, you know how many people would be hooked. You finish the night off with that. That would be amazing. I would love that, man. And I feel like that's one thing that would make the All Star Weekend a little better because the All Star Game's great. Like I have no complaints with that, especially with the new format. I love it, and they all play for that last score. The games are usually really close. It's really fun like that. I like it a lot. So yeah, and the players play tough. The players were trying. That's basketball. Seeing star players try like that is that's the greatest, man. I just love it. But they got to do a lot of things to fix that. Add a 1v1 tournament. Get more stars. That's what will intrigue people. Seeing the best players in the world do these contests. You know? That's the best thing they could do. Anyways, next on my topics, I wanted to discuss a bit of how the NBA, I don't know, how the NBA standings are playing out right now, and what I think of some of these teams, and teams I'm really worried for. I'm gonna start in the Western Conference. A team that I'm kind of worried for as of late. I don't know why. There's just something about this team. I feel like the Utah Jazz are really on a thin, you know, on a very, very, they're on the hot seat. You know why? My reasoning towards that is that the Utah Jazz have been making the playoffs on a streak since 2017 when they had Gordon Hayward and Rudy Gobert, right? You know, they've been a successful team in the regular season. They usually they play in the first round, make it to the first round, second round. Never made it to the conference finals yet since 2017. It's been 4 years. Obviously, 2021 they lost in the semifinals to the Clippers, a Kawhi-less Clippers towards the end. Um, and you're going into this year. You're the fourth seed right now. Memphis, Golden State, and Phoenix are ahead of you. You're slated to play the Mavericks. Are you guys telling me I'm telling you right now, if the Utah Jazz don't make at least the conference finals this year, you guys don't think it's time to blow it up? I might be I might be I might be overstating it a bit. But man, since 2017 you've been making the playoffs, and yes, you have Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, but you haven't got to the conference finals at all. At all with this duo and relatively the same team. Added with Mike Conley, of course. And you haven't went to the to the conference finals yet. If you don't make it this year, you're telling me there's not going to be talks of kind of retooling the roster a bit because you had the same roster for a really long time. Well, the same core guys almost. And you're not going to think about blowing it up? Like, that's just me. I mean, we've seen Rudy Gobert kind of get not not completely exploited in the playoffs, but man, it's been tough for him because he's had some really bad matchups where teams can just exploit that the fact that he can't really stretch the floor and you know they go more 5 out and shoot the ball a little bit more on three and sometimes force him to shoot some free throws. It's just the thing where you know Donovan Mitchell's kind of carrying the load a little bit more. Some of the other guys don't show up. And they've been in tough series. I mean, they've been in really, really tough series. Close series, too. But we just seen so much struggle between them. And obviously, there was talk about Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert kind of having a rift for the past 2.5 years. So, there's always talks of that. I mean, I'm not saying trade those two. Maybe trade one of them, or just try to get a bona fide third star. Because Bojan Bogdanovic is great for sure. Mike Conley's great for sure. But are those two guys gonna help your stars win in the playoffs? If you don't have, I feel like if you have a third star on that team, they would be I believe they would be number one in the West if they had a third bona fide star on that team. Because Boyan Bogdanovic is great. He's not. I don't think he's a star. Mike Conley, I don't think he's a star anymore. He's great for sure, a great point guard. I don't think he's a star. They need a third star to complete this roster, and if you have a third star, it would be very very tough to take them to not pick them to get out of the West. But right now, it's looking really really tough for them. Another team I'm worried about in the West. We talked about this team a lot. The LA Lakers. I mean, I'm tired of talking about them at this point. I mean, no sense of urgency. And Russell Westbrook, what is like? You need you need to like. I don't know, man. Like, what's wrong with you? How are you gonna say, "Oh, what expectations did I put myself on? Put myself in the for the season or whatever to that interview and make the interviewer like feel awkward when you did put expectations on you guys selves that you guys were gonna win a championship. Haven't done that. You don't look like you're gonna win a championship. You're on a 4 game losing streak, and you can't keep saying, "Oh, I'm gonna have bad nights." You're having bad nights every other game. I mean, you at this point like you can't act like this team never had expectations. This team had expectations to make it out of the West. Right now, they're ninth in the West, 27-35, below 500, losing 4 games in a row. And you're telling me that you didn't have expectations for this team? You didn't put expectations for yourself? Come on, man. Come on. Like it's absolutely embarrassing at this point. Embarrassing. Like come on, man. Come on. That's so embarrassing, man. Come on. Obviously, yes, the your role hasn't his role hasn't been that consistent. But man, some of the stuff and you cannot play defense for your life. You let the Los Angeles Clippers, meanwhile, without Paul George, without Kawhi Leonard, beat you 132 to 111 and sweep you in the season series 4-0. You couldn't win 1 game against an injury-riddled team who, by the way, are ahead of you in the standings and are above 500 with both of their stars injured. With both of their stars injured. Are ahead of you in the standings. And you're going to let them do that to you guys? Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Like, that's embarrassing. Russell Westbrook can't play defense for his life against Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson basically owns the LA Lakers. And I'm obviously I might be overstating it a bit, but I mean 36 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds. You let someone like obviously Reggie Jackson's been pretty good this year, fulfilling, kind of stepping up in scoring, but Reggie Jackson is not supposed to be the guy that propels your season sweep when you have LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, and Carmelo Anthony, Malik Monk, guys like that, and Dwight Howard. It's not a thing right there. That's not something. And like it's it's not this is not it, man. This is not it. It's really embarrassing. Really, really embarrassing. But yeah, I mean, LeBron's trying his best. I'll give him that. LeBron's done his work, but he needs to put some effort sometimes too on defense. I mean, sometimes he really doesn't try on defense. I mean, LeBron hasn't done that for a couple of years, but on offense, man, this guy gives it his all. I mean, last night he had 26 points, 8 for 18 from the field, 2 for 9 from three. I mean, it's one more. It's very tough, man. Very tough, and Anthony Davis is like nowhere to be found. I don't think he'll play again this season. They're gonna struggle. They're gonna struggle to get that playoff spot. I'll tell you that. Especially with New Orleans creeping up right now. They're 10th, and they're on a 3 game winning streak. So I think if they win one more game, they'll surpass the Lakers. 26 and 36. Lakers are 27 and 35. Okay, two more games, they'll surpass the Lakers. So yeah, it's very very tough for the Lakers. I'll tell you that. In the East, man, some teams I'm worried about. Brooklyn Nets. I mean, simply the Brooklyn Nets. I'm really worried about. You're 32 and 32. You're just at 500. Um, I mean, even with Kevin Durant, you lost, but for them, man, it's very tough. Because obviously James Harden is a Philadelphia 76er now. It was Kevin Durant's first game back last night, so I'll give him that. But the season has been has been a struggle all year with James Harden. Without James Harden, Kyrie Irving's not playing all the games, and I still don't understand how, like, how we can't play all games. But that's just that's like that's too much for me. I mean, away players could play, but he can't. Even though some of them, the away players are not vaccinated, they could still come and play. But if he's not vaccinated, he can't play. It makes no sense in my opinion. But not my problem. I don't really like talking about that stuff. But yeah, um, Kyrie Irving is obviously only playing away games, and the Nets just haven't been that all that good this year. Um, I don't know what their ceiling is. I don't even think they make the finals anymore. They've lost a lot of games, and they'll be in that from 8 to 5 range because 8 to 5 is pretty close. But I don't think they'll get up into that 1, 2, and 3 area right there. I think it's better for them if they stay lower, so Kyrie Irving could play away games, more away games. So yeah, I mean, Ben Simmons still isn't back yet, so we don't know how that fit's gonna work. I mean, Seth Curry's been phenomenal for them. I'm not even gonna lie; he's been very very good. I want to see his Brooklyn stats. Yeah, Andre Drummond, I believe he's Seth Curry, right? I said Seth Curry. I hope I didn't say Steph. But yeah, Seth Curry has been pretty good. You know, very very good stretches of scoring. Last night was probably his first subpar game. It wasn't even all that bad either. He had 8 points. He was just 2 for 7 from three though, so it's pretty iffy. Um, you got Andre Drummond on the team as well now. Not a bad, not a bad player at all. I feel like Andre Drummond gets a bad rap. Um, you know, he obviously isn't a star like he was portrayed to be back then, but he's damn for sure a good backup big. I'll tell you that. Yeah, Brooklyn's very very tough this year. I'm not too sold on them at all. One team I am sold on, the Miami Heat are at number one. I don't know if you guys remember in December when we had Mr. Jamal on here. I was saying, don't sleep on the Miami Heat. Don't sleep on the Miami Heat. Where's Miami Heat now? They're on number one in the East. Number one in the East. If you guys could find that clip, send it to me. Send me that, and I would love to repost it. Just saying, don't sleep on the Miami Heat. I'll tell you that. Hey, not bad at all. Not a bad take for you, hoops. Yeah, no. But anyways, I want to talk about another thing, which is the MLB lockout. Yes, this is the first time we're talking MLB on this, which is it's funny because I was never really too crazy into baseball when I was younger. I wasn't I wasn't that guy. I couldn't really like. I used to have for me when I was younger. I couldn't stay in one spot. I couldn't. I had to do multiple things at once, and you know, well, basketball for me, seeing it so up tempo, I fell in love with easy. Baseball took me a long time to fall in love with. Now I'm a Mets fan, of course. Why not? Um, and yeah, the MLB lockout is one of the most uh probably just shows how greed from billionaires and just like they're not even willing to compromise with these guys, and it's so sickening because baseball is um part of American history, like especially the MLB, and we can't even see them play right now. And I would love to, baseball is supposed to start opening night, March 31st, right? Yeah, and it looks like it's not gonna happen. I mean, it's really tough to say because this is the year I was really gonna try to dive deep into baseball and get you know the most out of it, and it would have been great. But I don't even know if it's gonna start anytime soon. I'm projecting. I don't know when they'll get a deal done because neither sides are busting. The player, busting. Freaking budging. I'm sorry. Uh, I don't think the MLB players, the NBA, MLBPA is budging. Billionaires aren't budging. The owners, Manfred, and Manfred. Robert Manfred is the worst commissioner in American sports right now. Debate anybody. I'm debating anybody right now. He's the worst commissioner. This guy has ruined the MLB so much, just all based off greed. You know, NBA. Adam Silver cares about the game. He's old school. He loves the game. Roger Goodell's iffy. I can't really say too much for hockey because I'm not really sure too much about that. Um, I mean, Robert Manfred needs needs to let this game play because people want to watch this. And the commissioner needs to find a way to hit younger audiences for the MLB because there's going to be a point where if you're not even trying to, get to the younger audience to watch the game, who's going to watch the game? Because a lot of the younger generation nowadays don't really watch baseball like that. 20-year-olds, teenagers, they don't watch the game of baseball, at least that I know of. Like someone who's 35 and 35 and up because baseball was a better time back then when they were teenagers, they were kids back in the day, watching baseball, watching all these legends go out. And baseball, there's great players in baseball right now. Otani, Trout, Harper, DeGrom, all these guys are top tier players that we could be watching and our generation could enjoy. But Manfred has not even tried to promote this stuff. Baseball ratings are already going down the road, down the cliff, man. It's embarrassing, man. And shout out to my guy Chris. He's one of the biggest baseball fans I know, man. And I'm gonna have him on here one day, and we'll definitely talk about how bad the MLB has been lately, and he'll he'll really vent. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the MLB. Next, last but not least, I want to get into something really, 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 really interesting, and it's kind of late, but the NBA top 75 list got well, not the top 75 list that was released a couple months ago, but they were all got their jackets and stuff on All Star Weekend, which was really cool, amazing moment, seeing all the legends catch up with some of the younger guys. Legends go like older legends meeting their idols, and it was a sweet moment. But ESPN decides to rank the top 75, I'm sorry, of all time, and man, it was a really rough list. I wasn't really too big of a fan of it at all. Let's see. Okay, obviously some notable ones. Michael Jordan number one. Not mad there. LeBron James number two, not mad there. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar three, not mad there. Magic Johnson four, four or five, somewhere around there. Him and Wilt, in my opinion, are interchangeable. As Wilt's number five. Um, Bill Russell six, not mad there at all. Larry Bird seven, not mad. Tim Duncan 8. I agree, but man, you're telling me Oscar Robertson is better than Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Hakeem Olajuwon? Really? Really? And Stephen Curry? Oscar Robertson, the Big O, was a great player. Yes. But he is nowhere near as successful as these guys. Those guys I just named, the guys that are under him. He's not more successful than Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Durant, Hakeem Olajuwon, Julius Erving, Moses Malone, Steph Curry. I get it. Oscar Robertson obviously changed the game with the triple double, but he hasn't done nearly as much as these guys in his career. Obviously, yes, he's an NBA champion. I'll give him that. But come on, man. And he's an MVP. He's an MVP as well. But he hasn't done nearly as much. Hasn't done nearly as much as those guys. I mean, it's just. I think it's a little reach there. I do believe he's top 20. He's sure top 20. But ESPN kind of dragged it a bit there. Um, it was very, 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 very tough to say. And John Stockton, 24, you know, above guys like David Robinson, Isaiah Thomas, and Scottie Pippen, Kawhi Leonard. I don't think John Stockton. Obviously, I could be a bit biased because I never really watched John Stockton besides old YouTube videos of games, but I don't think John Stockton is that nowhere near successful as Kawhi Leonard, especially even since Kawhi Leonard played way less than John Stockton. I mean, Kawhi Leonard's a two-time champion, defensive player of the year twice, multiple time All NBA player, All Star. I mean, you're really gonna sit here and say Kawhi Leonard is not more successful than John Stockton? I mean, it's very, 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 very interesting, this list. I mean, I'm just scrolling through it right now. Some of these spots are not bad. I mean, not at all. Not at all. Wow. I still, obviously, the top 75 was questionable already, having guys like, Dwight Howard being left off, which was shocking to me. Tracy McGrady, shocking. Klay Thompson, shocking, because Dwight Howard did a lot of things like, you know, way more things in his career than, like Damian Lillard. I mean, Damian Lillard being top 75 over Dwight Howard is a joke because Damian Lillard, obviously, amazing player. He's done a lot for the game as well, for my generation, but Dwight Howard is a three-time Defensive Player of the Year, MVP runner-up, has been to the finals, best player on the best team, an NBA champion, nonetheless. I mean, it wasn't one of the best players, but NBA champion. That's way more than what Damian Lillard has done in his career. So, man, I mean, that's very, very bold of the league to do. But yeah, I mean, think I think I rambled on enough about a lot of things. I'm really happy I could get an episode out to you guys. So yeah, I mean, I'll talk to all you guys later. Hit me up on Instagram if you want any if you have any episode ideas, podcast ideas. Just hit me up and peace.